It's time now for Carter's Corner. Everything Bay Area sports on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here is your host, Carter Kim.
Hello and welcome to Carter's Corner. I am Carter here on Northern Lights Sports and Entertainment, talking to you about all things basketball, baseball, football, anything really. Depends on what the audience wants to do. But I'm here today to talk to you about some fun free agency stuff possibly, because ever since the Juan Soto signing has occurred, free agents can finally start getting paid by the various organizations that want in. And we've heard a little bit more news ever since Soto got signed, a little bit before, since a lot of people knew that they were out on Soto, like us. But it's great to see the free agency finally stop being all quiet on the Western Front, and we finally have something happening. It's good to hear that happening. We got Willy Adames. It's interesting to see how things have been going for the Giants. We'll see how it all continues to go, but I'm liking what we're doing. I like how we have Willy Adames now locking up that left side of the infield with Chapman, and we have possibility of Bryce Eldridge eventually coming up, so that's cool. But I also want to talk about the Warriors a little bit, maybe talk about the 49ers, if that's interesting at all. But I think I want to start with this. The Warriors started skidding a little bit before just after I left, and what do you know? They've been playing so much better. I mean, it's just been a roller coaster ride for the team. It hasn't been great in a lot of ways. We've been playing a little worse than we should be. But I think all things considered for the Warriors, we have been so much better than what we were before. And I'm really proud of how we've been doing. And it's just been it's been very adverse, though, because we lost 5 games in a row. We finally got ourselves back on the horse, being the Rockets and the Timberwolves. But I think that we can do much better than what we're doing right now. I'm really hoping that we can talk to a bunch of people at the trade deadline about the possibility of getting some stars, but it's been good to hear. I mean, we need to do better, though. Obviously, we need to do much better. I didn't watch the Melvin interview yet, though, which is definitely something I should have done at some point. But also, Skaters on Baseball. I would highly recommend going to talk to Skaters on Baseball or going to see Skaters on Baseball, because they just did an interview with Grant McCrae, and it was a really good interview. So good job, man. It's been great to hear about them and how well they've been doing. But I actually wanted to play this video, see what the Giants have been doing on their social media pages, because I'm interested a little bit.
It is back. It is gone. A 3-run go-ahead home run for Willy Adames. Turner up the middle. Flip to Adames. Jump throw to first. Oh, my goodness. What a double play. Oh, my. And did he catch it? He did. Mr. 3-run homer strikes again. Adames into a slide. Gets up, throws to first. A scoop and got him. Backhand stop, pop into his feet. Adames throw a rifle.
Willy making it look easy out there. Adames sends it deep and gone. A grand slam for Adames.
Adames pops up, fires to first. Got him! What a play by Willy.
He's done it again. How about this guy? And Adames hit well. His second home run of the day.
And on top of that, I just got a notification from the MLB. He has officially been signed, which is really good, because we obviously have had a little bit of PTSD about certain situations having to do with Willy Adames and like shortstops for this organization in general. But we got a guy. We got our guy. We got the guy that we're hoping that can be a centerpiece for the next 7 years. He's played fantastically, and I really just hope that this is going to end up being something good for us, because he's a great player. We actually have news. We have rumors that Fried has been is actually going to be off the market in a minute. They've said that the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and a bunch of other teams have been interested along with the Yankees. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. I mean, you just got to hope that this team can be ready to go. I mean, there's a lot. There is a lot to like about how this team has been doing in free agency. I just really hope that we can take another swing at a big star. Possibly a guy like Corbin Burns, maybe Fried, possibly, but I would definitely recommend going to talk to Corbin Burns about the notion of him coming to play as the ace for this team. But again, that's yet to be seen. But I'm very much more excited than I was like a month ago when it was all quiet on the Western Front and we didn't have a lot of action happening. It's good to see that something's just occurring, that we can, talk about the notions of what this team could look like, because right here, Mets are going to be good. No, the Mets are going to be fantastic. I don't see, it's hard to see the Mets being bad. I mean, they literally just got the best star in the game, or one of the best stars of the game, at least. A bit of a lot of money, but it's very, very much a signing that needed to happen. If they got him, they would have literally been in the perfect position. I mean, but for us, we're in apparently they're going to be keeping Jordan Hicks on as a starter, which is something I question a little bit. I mean, Jordan Hicks is a good player, but I worry about him as a starter, especially when he tapered off the first half. I mean, he looked good for a few games there, but he's more of a depth piece, a guy you might bring out, but he's just he's a bit iffy. Robbie Ray, I think he'll be better next year. He might become our hard-throwing lefty, but we need an ace. That's just the truth. We need an ace. We need somebody who can dominate, and we don't have that right now. We need – Snell was going to be that, but idiotically, Farhan just doesn't know how to sign people to long-term contracts, and thankfully that dude is no longer – that dude is thankfully on the unemployment line instead of managing a baseball team. But looking at everything else, the possibility of who could come to the Giants and who could come here, I mean, the opportunity is endless in my opinion. I mean, just look at that. I mean, Corbin Burns and Max Fried, Roki Sasaki would be the guys I would be really inclined to go after. But I would really want Roki or Corbin Burns. Max Fried would also be a guy that I'd be very interested in. I like Max. I think he's got the skill and the ability to be a great player, but we'll have to see at that point, because he's also being talked about as a guy who's going to be going to the Blue Jays, who's going to be going to Boston or the Yankees. AL East teams are very interested, and I wonder if he wants to stay in the East. I mean, he has been in Atlanta his whole professional life as a baseball player. You wonder if he wants to stay East instead of moving. But again, that remains yet to be seen. I'm definitely interested, though, in how the movement's going to happen. I mean, he can basically get paid by anybody. It's just really about other stuff. But the free agents and pitching, I mean, or the targets that I'm talking about, Fried, Burns, and Sasaki, along with some backup options in Flaherty, Buehler, guys like John Means, who we could take a flyer on, some relievers like Scott, Yates, and Leclerc that other teams could use in a playoff run. Mets, Yankees versus Soto, with Mets, Yankees World Series with Alonso World Series. Yeah, that would be a really, really, really good World Series. I mean, it would be a great World Series, obviously. I mean, there's just so much narrative and so much story there. I know for a fact the Yankees fans are going to be booing the hell out of Soto, despite the fact that they should be more mad at the team and Brian Cashman. I mean, if there's anybody you want to be mad at Brian Cashman and those idiots in the front office. They can't do business like it's the 2000s and the 90s anymore, Grandpa. It's a whole new world. I mean, honestly, just honestly, Yankees fans just need to stop complaining, if I'm being totally honest. Y'all choked to the Dodgers. Sorry, you guys suck. I'm just keeping it real. Like, the Yankees and your fans, like, y'all suck. Listen, the only good part about the Dodgers winning the World Series, even though I'm a Giants fan, is that the Yankees lost. And I hate the Yankees. I hate their fans. I hate the sense of entitlement that they have. I like some Yankees fans. There are some good people who do genuinely objective analysis of their team, and I appreciate it. But it's like Yankees fans are the worst, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. I don't like the Dodgers either, but it's like Yankees fans are the worst. Sounds like the Yankees are offering Fried a 7-year deal. That would be pretty good. They'd add a complimenting ace to a staff with Garrett Cole. I mean, let's just take a look. Max Fried, news of him. Yeah, he's reaching a decision among the Yankees, Red Sox, and Blue Jays. Yeah, he's choosing the destination in the coming days, so that's interesting. I mean, man, I wouldn't want to see Fried go to the Yankees. That's just a sad team to go to because they're never going to win a World Series ever again. I mean, Jesus. Like that team is just such an unserious bunch of guys who just think it's going to be handed to them on a platter, and it's stupid. I mean, I really do think that Fried could go there, probably just because the Yankees have a lot of spending money now for Alonso, Fried, a bunch of other guys. I mean, there's intrigue there. I'm just like, are they going to really do anything? Not really. Until the Yankees win a World Series, they don't have any of my attention. None of it. I mean, I'm fundamentally uninterested, and I'm honestly impressed with. I'm more impressed with AJ Preller and the Padres for pulling off that trade. They traded Soto away for a pretty damn good deal. I assume Bellinger and Alonso, the Yankees' backup plans. I definitely think Alonso is in their cards. I don't know about Belly. I think Belly's a trade guy. I've also heard that they're trying to get after Arenado. Congrats on Adames. Yep, thank you. I mean, it's good to see us doing better, but back to your thing about Bellinger and Alonso. I mean, I think if they're going to be trading, they're going to be a bit more bullish on trying to get a guy like Arenado to pair in the left side of the infield with Volpe. I think that first base is also kind of shaky. They could do something there, maybe call up a young guy, but honestly, I can see them just like, I think they're definitely going to go hard after Alonso because they need a first baseman. And then on trades, they're going to go after Nolan Arenado because Arenado still got it. I at least with the glove. And when you're hitting with Aaron Judge, you'll mostly be fine. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see the Yankees not have Juan Soto because honestly, I like seeing the Yankees fans in misery because it's kind of like y'all deserve it. You guys acted like a bunch of stuck-up, arrogant people, and now you're losing all the time. The Dodgers, I give a lot of crap to the Dodgers, but at least they won a World Series. We've won 3 ever since the Yankees have last won a World Series. There are other teams that are eternal memes that have won a World Series before the Yankees have. The Nationals, the Cubs, so many teams that people gave crap for not winning have won before you, Yankees, despite the fact that you've had every opportunity available to be better. And honestly, like y'all deserve to lose. Again, I'll say it again and again. And I wonder where Bellinger is going to go. I do wonder where Bellinger is going to go. I really don't want us to go after him because he's not that great. I mean, he's a good player. He had that little period with the Dodgers where he looked super good and looked like he was going to be a superstar for like the next 10 years. But then he fell off a cliff. He couldn't figure it out. He had poor production for the seasons. And then the Dodgers just let him go because they're very good decision makers, the Dodgers, which is the exact opposite of what the Yankees are. They don't make good decisions in the front office. But yeah, honestly, I think they will definitely be bullish on Alonso and be going to hunt him down. I do wonder if the Giants are going to be aggressive in trying to trade Camilo Doval because I really don't think we should keep him. Maybe we do better with him this year, but there are teams that were so inclined to go after this guy as a reliever, and he just I wonder why we didn't just let him talk to us because he's a really good player when he's on his form. He can get you saves, but Doval was just so dangerous last season. He was the epitome of a gas can. I mean, so let's just look at his numbers. I really want to just talk about this in particular. Looking at Camilo Doval's numbers, look at these numbers. He's got a great batting average thing. He's got a great fastball velo. He gets whiffs. He gets strikeouts. He gets good ground balls. But the problem is, look at how bad he is at other stuff. Can't walk people. He gives up too much barrel, and he gets the ball hit hard. And every single time, they get a lot of speed after the ball gets hit. He doesn't also get people to chase a lot. He gets people to whiff and strike out, but he doesn't get them to chase. Compare that to last year. Okay? Walks and hard hit were genuinely a concern. The difference is, though, his barrel, ground ball, extension, everything else was much more moderated. Yes, he has better stats in certain categories, but overall in 2023, he was much more well-rounded. And I'm really wondering, dude, should we even keep him around? We literally had to send him back down. Who would the Giants DH? Flores? Not ideal. No, I don't think they would DH. I think they're just going to try and find some. I was wondering if they would do it with Encarnacion. I would really like Encarnacion to be taking on that role and just being the DH every day. If he ends up being good and makes it out of spring, I would like that. But I don't want to have Flores on this team either. It's just kind of blah. I mean, yeah. Jimmy Butler rumors are back on? Yeah, I want the Warriors to go get Jimmy Butler because we need a second option to go beside Steph right now. It's just annoying. I don't think Conforto will be good, but he's not bad. No, he's actually – I've looked at his stats. Conforto, we give him a lot of crap sometimes because he's inconsistent and twirls golden sombreros like their pocket change. But he's actually a relatively okay player. He's above league average in OPS. He slugs okay. He'll hit you 20 home runs, which is consistent enough. But he's not the best player. He's your bench bat for the Dodgers. I mean, he's going to be a guy that you guys put on the bench behind Mookie, Pages, Teoscar if you get him back. It's weird because y'all outfield is getting pretty weird. I mean, Tommy Edman, is he going to play shortstop or is he going to be center field? Because that could be interesting. I would prefer to see Mookie back in right because Mookie has been literally the best version of himself whenever he's in right field. But yeah. But I look at this, this was 2023. This is 2024. Look at the drop in walks, velocity stuff. Not to mention look at the sporadic nature of everything but the slider. The slider's location is actually pretty good. It gets to the bottom of the zone and dots it. But the cutter does not have a single consistent spot, and the sinker isn't consistent either. I mean, it's so sporadic. It needs to be down. The cutter needs to be either up or down, and the sinker needs to be up here on the hands of another player, but also just running. He's been really bad this year, and it's just in comparison to another guy, which I'm going to show you, look at what Ryan Walker has done instead of him when we started moving him into closer spot instead. Let's just take a look at that. Look at these stats. Ryan Walker had almost 100 strikeouts as a reliever, an 0.89 whip. His ERA was incredible. The batting average, the fastball velocity, the average exit velocity, the whiff, the strikeout, the walks, the barrel. He's literally perfect at everything. The sinker is a little in the middle, but that's for a purpose. I mean, it's very hard to hit his sinker. The slider sweeper look is actually okay. Four seam he didn't throw it that much, to be fair. But he was so much better in that spot. I mean, I really do. Apparently teams really want to talk about Camilo Doval. And if they want to talk to us about him, we need to listen. Especially if we start out this season and he's not playing good, then we should definitely trade him. I mean, Jesus, I really want to emphasize this too. If he starts off the season badly and then gets better, we could trade him for some decent prospects. And honestly, at the deadline, if teams were bullish on Camilo Doval and Blake Snell, we should have traded him then too. The problem is Farhan is an arrogant jerk who doesn't understand the fact that he was out of his depth and that we weren't going to make it to the playoffs. And because of that, we're even more screwed for the next few years. I mean, Jesus, dude. Like, I'm looking at all this information and I'm just so infuriated more because it's like the reason why we're in this situation, the problem, the holes are because of him. Goldie can be a good fit for Detroit. I think Flaherty is going back to Detroit and Teoscar to Boston. I think Teoscar could go to Boston. I think Boston is a good team for him to go to. It's an easier ballpark. He doesn't have to worry about his fielding too much. Goldie for Detroit is interesting. I don't know about that because Torkelson's there. I'm pretty sure they want to give him more reps, even if he didn't have a great season. I think Flaherty going back to Detroit, I don't know about that. I feel like he's going to get a good payday because how well he played with the Dodgers on the playoff run. I think that he could go back to Detroit for sure, but I feel like it's going to be a weird situation because I don't think Flaherty is inclined to go back there, even though he had a great season there. But I'm looking at a lot of stats right now. Cole Reagan's had a great season. Just looking at his information right now. I mean, McClanahan. Oh, man, that dude was so good before he got injured. And look at that four-seamer. Oof. Yeah, he hasn't pitched in a year, Shane McClanahan. Buehler definitely can be a Met. I think that's possible. I think that here's the thing. Buehler didn't have a great season in the regular season. I think that he could. I mean, he didn't have a great regular season. Buehler had a good playoff run for the most part, but a lot of teams are going to be scared off because he didn't have a great regular season, and they're going to say, okay, like, you're a good player, you have pedigree, but we're worried about you. So I think the Mets might take a flyer on him, say, like, give him a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal and say, hey, like, you know, if you want to opt out, you can opt out. But, you know, if you want to stay with us, sounds good. We're not going to give you a long-term contract, though. So it's possible. I mean, I think Buehler could be a Met for sure. I mean, like, it just seems possible or likely at that point because Buehler he's been a little shaky ever since that injury. And there's just a thought that he needs to do a little better or get better before he can be paid a lot of money. So Walker. That's why I think we're also not as bullish on him as other teams because other teams might be like, oh, yeah, like we could have him or use him. And I think the Giants are also a bit like, okay, we got to be careful about trying to get a guy like Buehler because we don't want to be going back to like what we did with Farhan and just keep signing guys to random deals. But he's a guy that people will take a flyer on and say, hey, there is one guy that I think the Giants should be really interested in, though, and it's Tanner Scott. I really want to get Tanner Scott just so the Dodgers can't have him, mostly. I mean, after he was tying up Shohei Ohtani and Knots, I really want to have Tanner Scott on this team. I mean, I want Tanner Scott purely for the purpose of he's a really good pitcher. And if we have him, we can tie the Dodgers in knots, especially if we can shut down Shohei. I mean, he does walk people. Don't get it twisted, but he's got great location on his pitches. He's got great extension. He can get the ground balls, but he also strikes people out, which is really impressive. But I would definitely want to get Tanner Scott just purely for the purpose of, oh yeah, he's like a guy that can tie up Dodgers players. And how well he played against the Dodgers, even though the whole team was just cracked under pressure versus the Dodgers. But I'm interested to see how that goes because Tanner Scott's definitely got a market for a free agency. I would definitely want us to be like, hey, maybe you can come on for like a 3 or 4 year deal. I mean, he'd be a great player to have. And if we needed to, we could trade him for years of control. Especially to a guy who is as good as he is, and he can be a solid player for any team that he goes to. I mean, there's possibility, you know? Send Chart all the link. That's funny, though, Cryptic. That is funny. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think I should just put this back on the screen because I'm just trying to think. Let's do that. But yeah, this is all of it. But this is basically the lineup for now. Patty Platoon is going to be at first. Fitz at second. Willy Adames at short. Matty Ice at third. Elliot Ramos in left field. Jung Hoo Lee in center. The right field is going to be platooned as well We don't have an ace or a hard-throwing lefty yet, but we have Logan, Robbie, Jordan, Hayden, Kyle, and Landon possibly ready in the pitching staff. I mean, oh yeah, the Bears are horrible. They're so bad. I mean, we really, like, listen, the 49ers were really bad, but we smoked them. Our defense has been horrible all season, and we absolutely smoked them on that side of the ball. I don't know how many times. I think we sacked Williams like 5 times. Like, he was so bad. Adames, I don't know if he can carry a team. I think he's a really good player, but he's a cleanup guy that we're relying on to be like the masher that we've been looking for. He could definitely be a guy who helps that, though. I'm not sure if he's like a carry guy, but he's certainly a guy that's really good. But like, looking at all this stuff, though, like, this is how it's currently set. Like, this is the current state of the team. We don't have an ace or a hard-throwing lefty yet. We need one of those two things. That's my opinion. And then the back end of the bullpen, I can talk about that later. Or I've already talked about it, so it doesn't matter. Then we got the farm talent, which is interesting. Holes, outfielder, starting pitching, and a DH. We need one outfielder. The problem with outfielders right now, we don't have that many good outfielders in free agency this year. I mean, we need a right fielder, and there's not many good right fielders that can play at Oracle Park. We need somebody who can cover a lot of ground, who's athletic as hell. This can't be like one of those like slouchy guys. Then again, Jung-Hoo Lee can always cover that gap, but it's a tough play to make, dude. But I would love to see Lawrence Butler, though. That dude from the A's, I'm really interested. I'm interested in Lawrence Butler as a trade guy. I'd love to have him on this team. I like him a lot as a player. But Fried would be the other guy I would really want on this team. Maybe Jack Flaherty. These are the 4 guys I am really, really bullish on. Corbin Burns, Max Fried, Roki Sasaki, and Shino. Along with maybe Jack Flaherty. Or Walker Buehler, since, But yeah, Brent Rooker would be a good player as like a DH, but I don't know if the problem with trading with the A's is that they're going to always want a lot back. If we were going to go get Brent Rooker, they would want so much back for Brent Rooker, and the problem is I don't like trading with the A's because they're just such a risky team, in my opinion, because they're going to want our prospects, and Brent Rooker is just a DH. And I think that's a cool player, but he's a guy you add to a team that's ready to win a World Series, not a guy you add to build your team. Even though he's great, it's not like a Big Papi situation either, where you have a good nucleus of players and you assemble them and you can add him to that and he can be like the difference maker. We don't have that yet. We need a couple other players that can help build this team. And that starts with Corbin, Max, and Roki, and Shino. Like he's basically the Kodai Senga of this class. He's like the 27-year-old guy who hasn't made it yet, but looks really good. Then there's Jack Flaherty, Buehler. I mean, there's a lot of interesting players, along with bullpen pieces down here with Tanner Scott, Yates, and Leclerc. But I'm certainly interested in the notion of hunting down some diamonds in the rough, but not guys that are just like Farhan's like snake oil, just more or less like guys that have a little more I can trust a little more, Oh man. Yeah, it's getting quiet in here. But yeah, then again, I don't know if I would want to go. Hey, Morcatna, good to see you, man. Thank you. I'd be mad if Buehler becomes a Giant. I'm not even sure I'd like it that much. I like Walker Buehler, but he's a solid player when he's good, but it's like the last few years his production has not been great. I would like him. Again, I would never bag on him as a player. He's solid when he's good, because 2024 was a genuinely awful season. I think that he can be a good player. If you look at his stats, he's not terrible. And to be fair, these last 2 years have been marred by injury. And then he had Tommy John in 2023. But usually after your Tommy John year, you're supposed to do better. But he's kept being hampered by injuries. I mean, that's obviously just a little unlucky in some ways. But I'm also worried, like, how good is he going to be with a full season? And I'm also worried, like, oh, yeah, is he going to stay healthy too? It's a risk. Anything's a risk, but anything's a risk with spending this much money on just one guy. Listen, sports objectively, you're spending like millions of dollars on one guy to become your superstar. I mean, that's insane. By itself, that's crazy. But definitely, if Bueller was willing to take like a flyer deal, like 1 or 2 years. But I think Buster, from what I've seen from Buster and how he's moving, he's very much inclined to say, hey, I want to solidify a core for this team. Matt Chapman, Willy Adames, he's just started like solidifying a core and setting a time frame for the team. And I don't think we have time for a guy like Bueller, who's like still trying to get back to who he was. A team that has the affordability to do that is the Dodgers, because they don't have to worry about that right now. But they're also trying to prepare for the future as well. But yeah, I'm looking at a lot of numbers right now. I'm trying to see like what what would be the best move for us, because there's a lot of teams that need players. I mean, geez. Man, I'm tired, dude. I've been working the last few days because I have finals, but yeah. Looking at all this stuff, it's like, oh, okay, Clay Holmes, not bad. He looks solid. I mean, he could be a starter, Clay Holmes. I wonder if Clay Holmes is going to succeed as a starter, because he was definitely bad in save situations last year. But he definitely improved and stepped up his game, and I wonder if he can be like a solid starter. Not even a great starter, but a solid starter that can be relied upon. Hey, Adi, good to see you. Appreciate it. What about Masataka Yoshida? He's doing well. He was great in Japan. I mean, if the Red Sox were willing to talk business simple, like, hey, like, give us one of your random AA or single A prospects and you can get Masataka Yoshida, I'd be interested in that. But it's like, Yoshida has been more okay. I mean, he's not a bad player, but I'm just going to bring up his stats. I think something like Hicks will happen to Holmes. I mean, that's definitely possible. I'm worried about having Hicks in the rotation next year. I mean, hold on. Masataka Yoshida. Let's talk about Masataka Yoshida. Just for a little, let's talk about Masataka Yoshida. Okay. These were Masataka Yoshida's stats last year. These are pretty good stats, too. I'm not knocking the guy. He's a great player. 280, 349, slugging percentage is good. But here's the thing. How well did he hit at Fenway for a guy who is who's a left-handed bat? I mean, Fenway is a park where you should be able to get home runs like every other day. And for a DH, you only had 10 home runs at Boston. I mean, again, Boston is like only like a 380 fence most of the time. Let me just check too. I gotta like check the ballpark information. I mean, yeah, he only hit a couple home runs there too for a guy who should have been really good there. I mean, yeah. I'm also biased and I want a Japanese player on the Giants. No, that's fair. He's a good player. You look at his overall numbers, like 280, like these are solid. The problem is the slugging percentage for me. This number right here is what scares me. He doesn't whiff or strike out, which is something I'll give him credit for, but he also doesn't give him walks. And if he got on base more, I would be more interested, but his chase squared up, like everything else is a little more mediocre for a guy who's as good as he is, especially like, let's look at 2023. It's practically the same. This stuff's a little better, but he's been kind of not a bad player. Certainly not a bad player. If you just look on his surface stats, his slash line, you'll say, oh yeah, he's solid. He's not a bad player, but he's not incredible. He's not incredible, but he's not bad. I mean, But again, like a guy like Masataka Yoshida, he's not a guy that you're like, oh yeah, let's bring him in to build around or like help build this team. He's a guy you bring onto your team when you're ready to actually win. He's your pinch hitter. He's your lefty bat that you put in the DH that you have help you. He'd be another Jung-Hoo Lee. I mean, Jung-Hoo Lee was a little, I mean, to be fair about Jung-Hoo, he's also a little different. Masataka is a bit more of a swing guy. He's got a bit more power. Jung-Hoo Lee is a little different in a way because he's a slap guy. He tries to get the ball into the field and steal bases, while Masataka is also much slower and less athletic. He's not a good fielder, while Jung-Hoo Lee is the exact opposite type of player, especially in center field where it's really important to have a good glove. But Yoshida, he intrigues me. But I'm wondering if Boston has plans for him because I'm worried about what FSG is doing because they seem to be very stagnant in Boston. Like they're trying to see if they can get good prospects to like gain a foothold. Vaughn Grissom, Devers, a bunch of other young guys like Sedan Rafaela. I mean, yeah. I mean, offensive numbers wise. I mean, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Offensive numbers wise, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, offensive numbers definitely support the notion that he's more of like he's not like going to mash you guys to mash runners. He's going to be a guy that gets you on base early and tries to like get home. He's not hitting home runs. He's just trying to do his job and just get on base, get some hits early. I mean, the funny thing is he was a cleanup guy, which is a little questionable in my opinion. To be fair, his at-bats were also a little lower this year, but it's kind of oh God, what was I talking about? But yeah, guys like that, these are the guys you bring in to help you win a World Series. And we're not there yet. We can't build around Masataka Yoshida or like have him be like a centerpiece or like a part of the building blocks. I mean, he's a good player. He's a really good player. I like him a lot as a player. He's just like not a guy I'm necessarily sure we need right now. Do you like the idea of trading for Suzuki and maybe Nico Horner? I really like Nico Horner. I will say this. I really like Nico Horner. I think he's a great player. Hold on. I thought he looked solid. He just didn't have a lot of like the special like slugging stuff. He wasn't a great slugger. He needs to hit better for average if he's playing like this. I mean, he's a solid two-bagger. He's got good range and stuff like that. He's good. It's just a little risky. I mean, and also I'm pretty sure the Cubs have plans for a guy like Horner as well, even though he's 27. But Suzuki, but Seiya. I mean, if they were gonna say, "Hey, we'll trade you Seiya Suzuki," I'd be like, "Yes, I'll do that immediately." Because Seiya Suzuki, I mean, let's just take a look at his numbers. I mean, Seiya Suzuki's numbers are really good. Like, these numbers are fantastically good. I mean, he's more of a DH type because his fielding is genuinely not good. But looking at his batting numbers, he looks fantastic. A great slugger. A great not on base, not great. But like it's average and slugging are really good. And I'd be inclined to go and get that if they said, hey, like, you know, we'll give you Seiya, we'll give you Suzuki if you give us something decent back. And I'd be like, yeah, sure. Just like, it has to be reasonable. I mean, he was really good last year. And I'm wondering if we would trade for him like that. But you also have to wonder, putting him in right field at Oracle Park, will we slide Ramos over to right field instead? Would other dude, I mean, especially at Oracle Park. I mean, right field in Oracle Park is literally one of the worst places to play baseball. I mean, it's tough because it's like you don't know how to control the wall necessarily. There's a lot of stuff that goes out the window at Oracle Park. But but yeah, I would definitely be like, yo, if we could get Seiya Suzuki, if the Cubs called the Giants and said, hey, we have Seiya Suzuki, you're my first call, I'd be like, yes, let's talk about him because he's got everything good about him. He's a great average hitter. OBP is okay. His arm and his slugging is great. I mean, he's got what I need for me to say, you know what, we can take a risk on Seiya Suzuki. But I would wonder if we should put him in the outfield at Oracle, especially in right field, where it's like, a little risky to play an outfielder. I mean, again, no disrespect to Seiya Suzuki. He's a great player. It's just there's a logistical issue of having him play at Oracle Park. I mean, we can move him to left field and then have Ramos take over and right instead, and that solves your problem altogether. But you got to wonder. I mean, so yeah, that's Seiya in left field. We'd have Jung-Hoo Lee. But yeah. Max Fried to the Where are we getting the news from? Adi, where's the news? Sorry, I'm just like, please tell me the MLB.com has this. Not yet, no. Let me just find something. But yeah, where's the news at? Hold on. Sup Carter, passing. 13th pick again. Oh my gosh. Passing. Okay, hold on. Sorry, give me a second. Oh God, I'm not getting it for some reason. Why? Can someone throw out a link for a second? Because I can't find it right now. Sorry. Jeff Passan. Oh, yep, there you go. Found it. Yeah, let me just put this up on the screen for everybody. Well, that's one name off the board. Hold on, let me just take him off. Max Fried. Left-hander Max Fried and the New York Yankees are in agreement. 8-year, $218 million contract. Pending physical, sources tell ESPN this is the largest guarantee in baseball history for a left-handed pitcher. For a lefty as well. No ops out and deferrals? Jesus. So, yeah, that's one off the board. Okay, yeah, now I have another priority. So the new priorities are Corbin Burns, Jack Flaherty, Roki Sasaki, and Shino. I mean, Jesus, that is a lot of money for a lefty. I mean, yeah, that brings a new dynamic to that pitching staff now. I mean, you get Max Fried, Garrett Cole, along with some solid guys like Luis Gil, the young gun, Nestor Cortez maybe, Clark Schmidt, along with Carlos Rodon as well when he's good. Yeah, that's a good deal. I like that deal a lot. $218 million. I mean, that's a lot of money, but that's solid over 8 years. Let's do some quick math. 218 divided by 8 equals $27 million per year for Fried. That's $27 million per year. Whew, man. That's okay. I like that. No, that's a good signing by the Yankees. I mean, that's a good signing. I mean, yeah, Jesus. But yeah, there we go. That's our Passan deal. Thank you, Jeff Passan, for your service in reporting to everybody. We appreciate it. Yeah, 7 years. Yep. Well, in the coming day, MLB Trade Rumors said he'll choose in the coming days 23 minutes ago. Well, 20 minutes later, they live in a different world. Burns is probably going to want 30. Yeah, probably. Most definitely. I mean, what would the years look like? Probably 6 or 7. I think Buster is looking to get another 7-year contract tacked on the board. I mean, knowing Buster, he's probably going to want another 7-year contract. So far, how he's worked, I mean, 6 years, 7 years. I mean, Yeah. $218 million. That is so much money, dude. God, like these guys are being paid more than some countries make money. That's crazy. Yimi Garcia got signed back to the Blue Jays. Oh my gosh. The Blue Jays are just being left out. I think 7 years, 230. Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, I agree with that actually. No, that's probably it. Yeah, let me just get this off the board. Let's go to another one. Okay, so this is the new board for the pitching. I believe these 4 gentlemen are the guys that we're going to be looking for the most or trying to get after the most. We need to go get Burns now. Like, he's the only choice now. Corbin Burns and Jack Flaherty. And Flaherty is a good player, but he's not I say this about Jack Flaherty as well. Like, Jack Flaherty is another, like, pitcher where it's like, oh, he's a really good pitcher. He's a great player. It's just like, the problem with Jack Flaherty is that he's not an ace. He's a really good player that can strike out a lot of people. He'll get like 200 strikeout seasons. He'll like go 150 innings each year. The problem with Jack Flaherty is just the simple fact that he's not an ace for us. He's a good player on the Dodgers. The reason why the Dodgers did so well with him is because he already had a bunch of great players around him, and he was able to come in and do the greatest job he could do. Now, you're like, should he be the guy? I mean, now since Fried's officially been taken off the board, I mean, Fried, Garcia. Yeah, December 10th, we've had some good signings. Yeah, there's a lot of good signings happening right now. I like this. I said this after the Juan Soto deal, everyone can finally come out of their fallout shelters and everyone can like start getting signed to free agency. I mean, looking at all this, I mean, okay, let's just put Flaherty under Sasaki. Sorry. Let's put Flaherty at the very bottom, actually. Flaherty would probably be my last choice, if I'm being totally honest. Out of all these guys that I'm looking at right now, Flaherty would probably be my last choice. I mean, Burns, Sasaki, Shino, Flaherty, Buehler. There's some good players here, but those are like Flaherty and Buehler are the last resorts, in my opinion. We can't be like dishing out a lot of big contracts because right now, Sasaki and Burns are the 2 guys we really need to talk to. And Sasaki has pretty much been in every single winter meeting that has been taught, like every single like meeting that's happening in the conference rooms of all these like winter meetings of all like the camps, whether it's the Giants, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and all these other teams, they all want to talk about Roki Sasaki. And we really need to get Roki Sasaki, if I'm being honest now. I mean, I'm wondering where Burns is going to go now. But yeah, that's a good... But yeah, that's a good deal. That's a really good deal for the Yankees. I like how they made that move. I mean, but as of right now, this is what I think. This is what I think our targets need to be. But this is I don't think there's another skill position that we can get. I think outfield's going to have to be our own problem. But yeah. Let me check Slusser. Yeah. Breakdown for Adames' deal: $22 million signing bonus, $10 million each of the next 2 seasons, $28 million deal. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, here we go. The other one. The Giants are among the teams that Posey says he would be over the moon if SF signs Sasaki. That would be a dream. That's solid defense, the ballpark potential. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, like, yeah, there you go. Which Jimenez? Oh, Jimenez? Oh, sorry. Hold on. What am I doing right now? Sorry. Are we talking about Yimi Garcia? I mean, Jesus. Hold on. Let me like. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the Sluss. Oh, the Guardians. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now, but yeah. Oh, the Blue Jays are getting him. Okay. But yeah, what Slusser says here, the Giants are among the teams to prepare the package for Sasaki, and Posey says he would be over the moon if SF signs him. That would be a dream. Solid defense in the ballpark are, yeah, exactly. The biggest thing, in my opinion, about the team is that we can sell to Sasaki is the fact that, oh God, I hope the Wi-Fi signal's getting bad. Oh no, it's getting better. Sasaki to the Giants would make me so happy. I might turn into a dog. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I would cry. I would literally cry with happiness if we got Roki Sasaki to come to the San Francisco Giants. I would lose it. So, Car, you start early? Yeah, I did, Johnny. I'm trying to start a little earlier so I can work a little bit and go. I have a lot of final stuff to take care of the next few days, but let's look at the information here. Apparently, Adames' deal is a $22 million signing bonus, a $10 million for the next 2 seasons, and $28 million for each of the final 5 seasons. So, what they're trying to what's my X? I don't have an X. I don't have Twitter or X, whatever. I really think I should get it, but I'm worried that I'm going to be shouting political views and yelling at people too much. And that doesn't seem healthy for anybody, but yeah. Well, this is interesting from Slusser. Yeah, but yeah, look, so basically, like, looking at this deal, they're saying that we have room thanks to the $10 million. I mean, that's interesting. I really like how this is being structured. Hold on, give me a second. So 10 million. Okay, here we go. So we got a 10 million of the next 2 seasons. So are we going to be signing somebody like that? Good to see that the corner's back. I'm really happy to be back, Johnny. I'm just like, I've been really gone recently. I've been dealing with a lot of other stuff. And I'm sorry I haven't been here with you guys, but I've just been really, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. Let's pay Burns up front. I agree. Let's pay Corbin Burns up front. This is something that Boras clients all want. They want their money up front and they want it immediately. So why not? Next 2 years, if we have to pay a premium and maybe not sign a bunch of other good free agents just for Corbin Burns this year, that seems fine to me, just as long as it's a reasonable thing. And besides, there are trades and there's the ability to go get other players. It depends, but yeah, $10 million over the next 2 seasons and $28 million over the final 5. There's possibility there because now we don't have to worry necessarily about the notion of like, oh yeah, we won't have enough money this year or that year. We'll have money this year in particular. But Roki Sasaki would be a guy that I'm like, did I finish finals yet? No, I still have my test on Friday for my politics. I have to get one of my assignments in for my college class, my Cal class, which is the college I'm a part of in UCSC. And then I have to take care of a bunch of other like discretionary stuff. But then after that, I'm going to go home on Saturday. So that's cool. But Jesus, dude, like Max Fried, though, that is a lot of money, dude. $218 million. And this is a pending physical, obviously. Oh, man, that's crazy. That is a big deal, dude. Jesus. But yeah, oh my gosh. But yeah, I am definitely interested to see how all this goes. I mean, so we're looking at pitching right now. Most of all, I don't think we can get another skill position that I am aware of. But yeah, pitching, most of all, pitching. All of these guys are pitchers. These are your relievers. And this is basically how much I think we need them. So Roki and Corbin are at the top of the list, along with Shino and Jack Flaherty. I think Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, and Leclerc would be definitely interesting, but I'm not sure we have that right now. I am gonna be done tomorrow, but I got to be here till the end of the week because of graduation. Awesome, man. Graduation. I mean, there you go. Yeah. Are you sure we can't get Teoscar? I'd much rather start him in left and put Ramos in right and with Yaz as a backup. I mean, I'm worried about the notion of going after Teo because as good as a player he is, like, I feel like the Dodgers want him back, and it just doesn't feel in the cards. I don't know why. Let me just look up and how he's been the news. I mean, there's a competition heating up. I mean, not the Mets. Now the Mets aren't going to be going after him, but let's take a look at some other stuff. Dodgers. Yeah, the Dodgers, they also spent a lot of money. If they fail to retain Hernandez, let me just look through all this information. Sasaki getting posted. I mean, yeah, I'm wondering though, how are they going to be doing this? Like also worrying about like Sasaki as well. That's the thing. Why would they sign Conforto if they were going to sign Teoscar back? You know, yeah, that's true. That is true. I would love to have Teo on this team because he's fantastic. I like him a lot. We could slide Ramos out to right field. I'd be very interested to have the notion of having him here. He'd be a great piece. Yankee fans are big mad at Soto for ditching them for a mere $5 million. Yeah. Duh! Yankees lose. And honestly, eat it, Yankees. Eat it. Sincerely, eat it. I'm just keeping it real about the Yankees fans. Who cares, dude? These guys are being paid millions upon millions of dollars to play a game, and you guys are pissed off at him for what? Because he left you? Because you guys sucked in the World Series? He was like the only other good player besides Giancarlo. Honestly, duh! Yankees lose again, as they have done for like the past, 15 years? I mean, listen, the Dodgers are a joke sometimes that I love to pull, but come on. Yeah. Yeah, the Mark Feinstein said Dodgers still in on Teoscar. Yeah, so there you go. That's going to be a problem. I mean, I feel like Teo just loves Los Angeles. That's the problem. I feel like he's going to stay there. You also have to think about AAV going down because the Yankees had an extra year in the deal. Yeah, that's true. Oh my goodness, like there's a lot of economics here in baseball that I have yet to understand, and I want to understand more. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff but I basically and that's a maybe. All right. For Teoscar Hernandez, this one, okay, this is a maybe. It's a very big maybe. Like, I feel like he just wants to stay in Los Angeles, even if it's for like something cheaper. I don't feel like he's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to want to go to San Francisco. There's nothing. I mean, obviously he'd like it up here. I think the problem is just like, how do you swing it? Like, what's your pitch to I know that he's a great player and I would love to have Teo. That's like 30 home runs. That's help for sure. I mean, that's like a fifth hole hitter that can help back up Adames. I mean, that's help. That's a lot of help early in his, like, to help him. That helps Jung-Hoo Lee, Fitz. That helps Ramos. That helps everybody out. Everybody gets better because of him becoming a member of this team. He would be a great player, but should he really be a priority? I mean, I think that that's another thing I would ask. Should he be a priority? I mean, yeah, he's a great player, but honestly, like, if we were going after Roki and Corbin more than anything else, like, that would be another thing. Yeah. Teo loves the Dodgers and the Dodgers love him. Forget about him. I mean, I would like to get Teo. I'm just keeping it. I would like to get him, but let's keep it real. I mean, I feel like getting Corbin and Roki on long-term deals would be much more like important to, oh shoot, I almost ended the stream by accident. Okay. Roki will be cheap. That is true. He would be a cheaper player to get. So we would basically still have the ability to pay more to other players, but I would really want to go get Corbin Burns. Burns would be the guy I would be like, yo, let's go get him. And he can, like, because we know Roki Sasaki is going to be a great player in the big leagues, The question is, like, how soon is he going to be that? And I know what Corbin Burns can be, but Corbin and Roki would be the two guys I'd be like, yo, we got to go get these two. Like, these are the two guys, especially since Roki just got posted and now teams are able to negotiate with him. Yeah, that's another thing. We need Burns. We really need an ace. That's the one thing I think this team needs more than anything else. We need an ace, a guy who can dominate. Him and Adames were also teammates. There you go. And the other most important position for a pitcher is a shortstop. Catcher is his best friend, but shortstop is the guy that backs him up a lot and gets all the ground balls. I mean, you never know. Maybe Adames is talking to him right now. But yeah, guys, I think that it's been an hour. I'm tired. I need to go work on finals, and I need to go work out, if I'm being honest. So thank you guys for supporting me. I really appreciate that. I've been gone for so long, and I'm promising, like, at the end of these streams, hey, I'm going to do better. I've got to do better for you guys and Eric and Glenn and everybody else. I'm going to do better. I promise you guys, okay? So I appreciate you guys. Adi, Giants Report, Johnny as well. Thanks to you. Giants Report again. Fozzie, thanks for stopping by. Morkatna as well. Thank you for stopping by. Daniel stopped by earlier with Cryptic. I appreciate y'all. I really do. It's always fun being here, guys, and I promise I will continue to do better. But as always, y'all, I'll see you later, okay? Peace.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.